Hi, so this is my proper look at Lady Killer. This is the library edition from Dark Horse. Nice little pink ribbon as well. So this was by Joelle Jones predominantly, and then colours by Laura Allred, and Jamie Rich helped write the first storyline, but I think Joelle Jones did it all by herself after that. She's done a lot of fashion work. This was like her first major comics work, and boy did I have a lot of fun with this book. Initially I was going to take my time, but I kind of burned through it within a day. But yeah, really gorgeous artwork. As you can see here, so it's set in the first. There's two books collected into this edition. So the first one is set in Seattle, 1962. Volume 1 is, and basically it deals with all the Moors and how women were very second-class citizens at that time, especially in America. So they were expected to be like your classic housewife, just looks after the children, did very mundane jobs. So you wouldn't expect a woman in the early 60s to be a contract killer, which is who our main protagonist is. And that is what's her name now? I think it's Josie. So here's a good example. So in this part, she pretends to be an Avon sales lady to get her way into the house of this woman, and she uses this ruse to basically kill the woman to work on her hit. It's just the dark humour. So she basically beats her to a pulp with a hammer, and then she gets a bit of blood on herself, and she's like, oh darn it, because she's got splattering of blood on her dress, because obviously the great twist is, yeah, she's a contract killer, but she's also a mum. She's got your white picket fence house with her husband and her husband's mum, whose backstory also gets revealed later on. Yeah, so she's got like the picture perfect 1960 suburban wife facade, but she's this really hardened killer. She makes the Punisher look soft, put it that way, because she doesn't use guns, she uses knives. And it's the dialogue, to say this was Joelle Jones's first major work, the dialogue is spot on. There's a very dark undercurrent humour running all the way through it. Very black humour, similar to Breaking Bad kind of humour. In fact, some of the scenes how she disposes of the bodies are very reminiscent of that. Yeah, and it's great. So she works for this company. But then, so this is another job that she does, where she's undercover as a hostess. So it really deals with the sexism that was very prevalent in America at this time. And of course, because she's a woman, they don't view she's ideal for this job, because they don't think she could be a threat to anybody. So she'll just work under the radar. They just think she's just this cute little bimbo, and she uses that to her advantage to get these hits. Like with this one here. And just, it's so creative how she dispatches the people, and it's just the dialogue. But then it carries on. She's got a handler, and the handler reports to her the higher up, who's the boss of all of it, and they think she's getting too complacent. They think she's too involved in just trying to be a suburban housewife. So they basically want to get rid of her, because they think she could be a liability for them. So that's when the story really kicks up a gear. So she's not just doing the contract killings, she's now got the people she works for wanted to kill her as well. And that's what so they're really testing her, but they give her this case, which is a really hard one because it's not the normal type. She's basically been told to have a contract on a kid, and I won't say any more about it because you'll need to know if she does kill the child or not for yourself. I want to leave a bit of a mystery for you, but let's just say it's very, very satisfactory how it carries on. So she realises they're out to kill her, so she tries to get her own back. And so basically, volume 1 is all about. It reaches this climax where it's her confronting her employers, and basically who makes it out alive. What happens with that. So then it moves on to volume 2, and chapter 1 is months after so this is like a year later, and she's basically set up her own business as an independent contractor. So she's still doing it, but the hits are different. So she's undercover here as a Tupperware party organizer, and she has a hit. And the second series is much more gruesome. It focuses on the kills quite a bit in detail. I'm not normally very squeamish, but I was a bit like ooh on some of it. But again, it's done with such a poker face, with tongue firmly planted in cheek. Some of the dialogue is so great, and it basically, put it this way, it comes in handy that she's a Tupperware undercover as a Tupperware party organizer, because Tupperware's very handy for hiding stuff, for moving stuff when you really need to move it. And so she she employs a person who had a bit in the first series to work with to help her dispose of the bodies, and that is where this story really takes off. So this is the new status quo. He becomes too familiar with her family. She doesn't really pick up warning signs until it's too late, and then it turns out she's got a connection somehow to her mother-in-law. I'll just show you this page as well because it's just so grim but so cool at the same time. And her mother-in-law finds out more of the truth about her daughter-in-law. But we also find out things about her mother-in-law. I'm like, oh my god, okay. So, so that's why she knows the guy who's helping her daughter-in-law with the cleaning up of the contract kills. And so this all reaches a head. Things basically spill over, and she realises that she made a mistake employing this guy to help dispose of the bodies. And that's where this storyline moves on to. It basically impacts all sides of her. So her secret contract work clashes with her family life in a way she can't control, and she has to do something about it. And that's basically where this story climaxes. I mean, I don't want to give too much, but you can get a bit of gist from the pictures. And yeah, the final chapter, I won't show you the pictures from that because you need to read it. It's a perfect ending to a chapter, but I'm bloody annoyed because it finishes on such a twist at the end. I want this to be a third series. Now I've heard that they are doing a third one, and I cannot wait because this was one of the most enjoyable books I've read this year. There's a lot of nice back matter as well, so there's a big chunk, about 20 or 30 bits of art at the back with character concepts and designs, but I won't show you them because it'd be a nice treat for you to find and discover for yourself. So I got this half price. I got a real good deal on this. It was sealed up. Normally it's $39.99, which is great value, I think, anyway, for a really big. It's bigger than an omnibus. Handsome stitch bound library edition with a ribbon bookmarker. Very, very satisfying story. It's done. You don't need to get a volume 2, but like I said, they've left it open for it to be a volume 3, which I think they are going to be starting this year. And I would give this book, for the presentation of the book, 10 out of 10. For the story and art, 8.5, 9 out of 10. There's just a few bits that would have made it a 10 out of 10, but I think taking into the fact that it was her first major work, it deserves an 8.5, 9 out of 10. It's a very satisfying, fun read. If you like stories about revenge, about contract kills, or stories set in the 60s, stories that have a slick, stylish feel vibe to them, stories like a Coen Brothers kind of sensibility, you'll get a lot from this. It's a very, very satisfying, fun read. Make a good Christmas. If you're not got anybody who's struggling to think of a nice graphic novel for somebody for Christmas, I highly recommend this. I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad I took a chance and picked it up. And Joelle Jones, she's a genius. She's really, really good. One of the best recent talents that have come out in the past 20 years. So yeah, 9 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And I highly recommend you search it out and buy it. You will not be disappointed. I think you can also get in small trades, but it deserves to be read in this format. Like I said, Dark Horse don't charge a lot for their library editions. It's only $39.99. If this was a Marvel one, they would charge you $100. I'm not lying. They really do charge a lot for their books, but Dark Horse seems to be very fair with what they charge. Okay, so that's it. Like I said, I'll do some more videos later on in the week, but I've got to wait for my comics to come to review those. I still need to finish Berserker. I am struggling. I can't lie. I am struggling with the final volume. It seems to have taken a dip in quality. Okay, bye.